All right, folks, welcome back. We're in the middle of a series on talking through common anxieties and how to process through them, how to deal with them well while you guys are on your own, watching from home, and so forth. So one of the first things I wanted to cover in this series is talking about some of the attributes and the nature of anxiety. And so really, one way to look at a lot of different forms of anxieties and how we experience anxieties is that it's a fear of what could happen, what could be lost. There are things that we try to prevent. A lot of our anxieties are around trying to prevent things from happening. And so really beneath anxiety is a undercurrent of the fear of losing something, or the fear of having to undergo a suffering that you don't want to go through. And so what I want to do in the first few, just kind of in the videos that we're unpacking here, is to start conceptualizing, starting to think about anxiety and fears as not just fears of what could happen, but really about the fear of some pain or some type of loss. And when we start looking at pain and loss specifically, that's the area that we want to try to move into to begin to start immunizing ourselves a little bit better. Because if we have a better understanding of what that suffering and loss looks like and how to deal with it, we begin to remove the need to fear it at all. And so again, we want to try and shift our understanding from experiencing fear to experiencing pain, suffering, and loss. So I know that doesn't sound fun, but again, as I said before, to deal with anxiety and to vaccinate ourselves means that we have to begin to introduce some thoughts that are going to be uncomfortable. And so that's what this first set of videos are going to be about. It's really going to be moving us into a space that isn't going to be fun. It's not going to be easy to do by any means, but it is the area that we want to try and dive into so that we can start building that resiliency. So we want to start looking at this through the lens of loss and suffering and so forth. Now, to do that, what I wanted to do is I just wanted to share a little bit about my own background, my own story, to help frame this a little bit better and why I want to take you guys on this journey with me. Just kind of as a different part of my story, aside from being a mental health counselor, about 3 years ago, my wife and I suffered loss in our family. We lost our 4-month-old child, Aaron. And so we went through a very dark season of having to go through a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, and a lot of loss. And so I've been a mental health counselor for 12 years now. And so, when we lost our son, I was already about maybe 10 years into being a therapist. And so a lot of what I had to do in those moments in time is to lean on a lot of my understanding of how you push into processing through pain and loss and so forth. And it's definitely not an easy task by any means, right? But it did force me to refine my understanding of how the process of loss works and how we recover from that, because I was going through it. And so really the reason I want to share that with all of you guys watching these videos right now is to say that as I take you on this journey, we're going to start uncovering some different areas, some potential areas of things that are going to be potentially painful, very unsettling. It will be engaging things that you've already lost or you might be losing. And so what I want to just share here is that I understand that journey. And so when I talk through the different possibilities of what can be lost in your own life, I don't want you to feel like as though I'm minimizing that by any means, because each of us are going to suffer and go through our own anxieties in different ways. My point in telling you this is to let you know that if you go through the worst of it and you push into the work, you can get onto the other side of it and feel much stronger as a result. It is definitely a lot of work, but it's one I want to help guide you guys through and encourage you guys to really engage in the work. Because if not, what's going to happen is that those anxious thoughts, those fears about what if could happen, all those bad case scenarios are going to stay there, and they're going to continue to degrade and to just impact your life in negative ways. And so I don't want that for a lot of you guys out there. And so that's my reason for wanting to push into this area and just let you know I'm not unfamiliar with that territory myself as well. And so we're going to dive into those different places too. So the point of this video was to just begin to start taking you one more step down the journey of saying, okay, we want to be willing to vaccinate, to be able to take that shot and to say, okay, we want to start introducing some weakened forms of the thought. The second part of this video, the second video, the purpose was to say, okay, we need to move the actual understanding of our work from fears to pain, suffering, and loss. And if we can do that, then we have room to be able to start immunizing, to build resiliency and so forth. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that doesn't discourage you guys from doing the work, because it's really important to do. It's really important for your mental health, especially in times like this. So thanks for watching, and hope you guys tune into the next video. Thanks.